What's up guys, Freeman here, welcome back to another video, coming to you from the very dark side of the UK at the moment, because it's coming up to winter and we haven't seen the sun in quite a while, so everyone's more or less inside, and everyone is sick, I tell you. Everyone's sick, my colleagues are sick, family members are sick, but I have the immune system of a jellyfish. Edit that out. So anyway, I wanted to talk a bit today about the fact that I'm going to be on day 6, round 6 I should say, of NoFap. The channel was originally NoFap, even though it's kind of divided at the moment, and just as reminder number 1576, I do have a health channel. There will be no more health videos posted on here. I have to make constant videos about that, reminding people, but still, yeah, so this is originally started off as a NoFap channel, and over the years I did actually get a lot of success, and I got to around about day 100 and I can't remember, day 100 and someone reminding me what day I got. 107, that was it. 107, and it was great. I was coasting on air and I felt great. However, circumstances changed and I inevitably relapsed. Now, this caused me to think a lot about why exactly am I doing this in the first place, and especially after my last video when I was talking about the relapse, it really did hit me, like, just how much my psychology had changed after actually doing it, and almost to the point where you just become a fish in water, so you just take it for granted, as most people do. Like their health, for example, they love to take their health for granted until it's gone, and it's like, wow, you know, what do they say? You know, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. That's basically it. That's basically what I felt like. I felt like, holy crap, I've lost all of this momentum. So I'm going to be restarting again and following my days a lot more closely than usual. But today I wanted to talk about something a bit different, and that is fetishes. Now, why am I talking about that? I'm talking about it because I've listened to a very interesting podcast, which I think people should check out. It's by the people who made QI. And if you're not from the UK, QI is this panel show whereby they just read out interesting facts and stuff like that. It's quite funny. Hosted by the legend Stephen Fry. And they have a podcast called No Such Thing as a Fish. Yeah, it's a weird name. But basically the podcast, and check it out by the way, it's great. They basically list off like 4 of their favorite facts and they talk about it and you learn lots and lots of new stuff. But they were talking about fetishes at one point, and they were talking about the foot fetish and about how the reason why people have a foot fetish is actually physical, as in it's actually something not wrong, but it's a weird quirk of the brain. Basically, in the brain, you have an area of your brain which determines what you find, you know, attractive and stuff like that. And you have the primal urge, you know, talking from a man's perspective, for example, you have the primal urge which says that a man is going to be attracted to the vagina or whatever. However, there's different parts of the brain, different sections there which allow you to feel attraction to certain parts of the body. So what people find is that people with extreme foot fetishes, and this was after, by the way, there was a guy who basically he had a massive foot fetish until he had brain surgery, and then it was gone. But he had to have brain surgery for something else, which fixed it. But it cured his foot fetish, if it's curable. So basically, what the researchers found is that the reason why people have a really intense foot fetish, like not like a passing one, like a fleeting one, like a but like something that they have all the time, is because the part of the brain that is associated with feeling attraction to the crotch is in their brains. It's really close to the part that likes feet. so that's the reason why you can have brain surgery and it can cure your foot fetish. So why am I talking about this? Basically, fetishes tell a lot about you. And what I found is that the people who, for example, in sex, are more interested in very specific fetishes and do that all the time, it's usually indicative of some sort of a psychological loop or some sort of a psychological hang-up that's actually going on, which is why they need to do it. Like, for example, men who enjoy being dominated all the time usually have mother issues, or women who like to be strangled usually have father issues, and you know stuff like that. Also, women who get lots and lots of tattoos, apparently there's a big correlation between that and father issues. So what you find is the people who don't really tend to be that creative, that is to say the people that will always do the same thing again and again and again, usually have, you know, something actually going on. Now, this actually goes off into the deep end. I've actually found evidence that actually your own physiological state is responsible for what sort of fetishes you have. Like, for example, myself, the fetishes I have are were interesting a long time ago, and so those ones are, I'm not gonna fucking tell you. But anyway, what I found is that when I was sick, I was into some really weird stuff. And as I actually cleaned up my body, I found that my fetishes not only did they change, but they also started to normalize. So when I say normalize, I'm not saying that there's normal fetish and there's abnormal fetishes, because there's a reason why people like stuff. And so what I found is that the more and more I actually cleaned out my body, the more and more my fetishes changed. And if not only changed, they just went. I stopped obsessing over very specific things, and instead I just started embracing everything, really. I mean, everything that's sane, really. I mean, there's stuff on the deep end which we can go into, which is also a neurological problem. But just for the sake of conversation, I found that it is actually possible to change your own fetishes by changing your own physical state, and that's actually quite interesting, because I found that the more and more unhealthy you are, the more and more psychologically unhealthy you are, the more and more you're likely to be into fetishes that involve a lot of harm, or usually asphyxiation, or something like that. Now, I did used to know a girl who used to be into strangling, and that was very interesting, because I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't do it. It was like it was so unnatural to me that I was just afraid of, if I really got into it, I'd probably snap a neck, because he's really frail. It can also be affected by the physical state as well. What you'll find, and I don't even know if I should really talk about this, because this is really disgusting. I basically found out that there are people who are into stuff that will make your stomach curl, and you can probably think about that. And it's actually influenced by physiological issues like toxicity and specifically parasites. Parasites change what you like. They control your mind, and they can change not only what you like, but what you're into. They can change what you want to eat. They can change what you find sexually attractive. And you'll find that the people who are the sickest have weird attractions. And you'll find this whenever you see people who are very unhealthy. They usually have very kinky, fetishes and stuff like that. But anyway, people like to underestimate all of this. People like to think that, oh, I'm clean, I don't have. And when I talk about parasites, and I do need to do, I know I should be talking about health stuff, but it's such an important issue. About 75 to 90% of the people watching this have parasites. And when I say parasites, I mean like not only microscopic ones, but also macroscopic ones that you can see. Have you ever wondered why you always want the same specific food? Have you ever wondered why you can't go for more than 2 hours without eating sugar? Yeah, that's not your cravings, unfortunately. And also, it also affects your sexual cravings. So I found that as I cleansed myself, my fetishes did actually change, and like I said, they basically went away. But anyway, this is a weird episode, isn't it? Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for today. It is NoFap Day 1. Anyway, free man out, and peace.